Okay, let's dive in. We're looking today at a recent speech from one of the most significant figures in artificial intelligence right now, Ilya Sutskever.
That's right. Our source material for this deep dive is a speech he gave. It was June 6th, 2025, when he got an honorary degree from the University of Toronto.
And our mission here is to really get into it, unpack his core insights, his predictions, especially, his view on where AI is heading and what that means for, well, for us.
The setting itself is quite interesting, isn't it? It's his alma mater, a place he clearly respects a lot.
Yeah, he spent a whole decade there, got multiple degrees.
And importantly, studied with Jeff Hinton.
No.
He actually calls Hinton one of his life's great strokes of luck, explicitly.
Absolutely. You can really hear the gratitude for U of T, acknowledging its history as a major AI research hub.
Right, a pioneering place.
Now, usually these convocation speeches, they're packed with advice for the grads. He kind of signals this one's going to be a bit different, but he does kick off with one key piece of advice first.
Uh-huh. He offers what he sees as a really useful state of mind, basically. Accept reality as it is.
Don't dwell on the past, don't regret things.
Exactly. Put your energy into improving the situation now and figuring out the, quote, next best step.
It sounds simple when you say it like that.
Deceptively simple, yeah. He's very clear it's hard. He calls it a constant struggle with one's emotion.
It's like you have to consciously choose to engage with what is, not what you wish things were, to find the best way forward.
And he says whenever he manages that state, everything works out so much better.
It feels like a foundation he's laying before he gets to the main event.
Well, yeah. He explains why the speech isn't typical because, in his words, there is something a little different going on right now.
And he doesn't really beat around the bush.
Yeah.
His main point, we are living in the most unusual time ever.
Right. He knows people say that kind of thing a lot.
Yeah, unprecedented times. We hear it constantly.
But his argument is, this time, it's genuinely true. For real.
And the single reason, the only reason he gives.
Because of AI. Simple as that.
He points to changes that are already happening, things we can see now. Like AI changing what it means to be a student by a pretty considerable degree.
That definitely lands, doesn't it? You see it everywhere.
And it's not just school. It's also starting to change the kind of work we do.
In ways that are still, as he puts it, unknown and unpredictable.
Yeah, you just look online, see what AI is doing, how people are reacting on, like, Twitter.
Uh-huh. It forces those questions immediately. Which skills are useful? What ones will be less useful? People are wrestling with that uncertainty right now.
Okay, so he sets the scene with current impacts, education, work, but then he shifts focus, right, to what he calls the really unprecedented and really extreme challenge.
The thing that will define the future, something very different compared to the way it is today.
He acknowledges that today's AI, talking back to us, writing code, that's already pretty crazy compared to just a few years back.
Definitely. But he's also candid that it's still deficient in lots of ways. It needs to catch up on a lot of things.
When he says needs to catch up, what sort of gaps are we talking about here for people following AI closely?
Well, he's probably thinking about, really solid, long context reasoning, maybe generating truly novel scientific ideas, not just remixing data or just like real common sense.
That intuitive grasp of the world humans have.
Exactly. Today's models are amazing pattern matchers, but they still lack that deeper, flexible understanding. Still, he calls current AI evocative.
Evocative, I like that word. It hints at the potential, right? A glimpse of something much bigger, even if it's not fully formed.
And his prediction for what's coming is, well, it's pretty stark.
He says AI will just keep getting better.
Leading to a day, he predicts, when AI will do all the things that we can do.
Wait, all the things, not just some tasks.
All of them. That's the prediction. He clarifies it. Anything any one of you can learn, he thinks AI will eventually be able to do.
Wow. Okay. That's a huge claim. How does he justify that? He gives a sort of one-sentence summary.
Yeah, his core reasoning is actually pretty simple. Humans have a brain. That brain is a biological computer.
Okay.
Therefore, a digital computer, call it a digital brain, should, logically, be able to do the same things. That's the essence of it.
It sounds almost too simple for something so massive. I mean, we haven't exactly cracked the code on the biological computer yet. How should we take that simple justification?
Right, and that's the crucial bit. He's not laying out the roadmap for how we build it. He's making a statement about possibility, about physics almost. The how is, the massive challenge everyone's working on. But his point is more fundamental. If biology, a physical system, can produce intelligence, then there's no magic reason another physical system like a powerful digital computer couldn't in principle do it too.
So it's a statement grounded in a computational view of the brain. Less about neuroscience specifics, more about what's physically achievable.
Exactly. It's about potential.
Okay, so if we go along with that possibility that a digital brain could eventually match a biological one for learnable tasks, that opens up some enormous questions.
Huge questions. He asks them directly, what's going to happen when computers can do all of our jobs? He calls these really big questions dramatic questions. He even acknowledges they might feel a little intense.
Yeah, you think. And the intensity definitely ramps up when he asks what we, the collective V, humanity, basically will choose to do with these AIs.
Will we use them to do more work, grow the economy, do R&D, do AI research?
And if AI starts doing R&D or even AI research itself,
That's where things could really accelerate. The consequence he points to is clear. The rate of progress will become really extremely fast. A feedback loop.
he seems very aware that this future he's painting is incredibly hard to wrap your head around.
Oh, definitely. He repeats it. These are extreme things, unimaginable things, very difficult to imagine. He even says, even I struggle with it.
That tension is interesting, isn't it? The sort of emotional difficulty versus the logical conclusion.
Yeah. He feels the logic seems to dictate that this very likely should happen, even if picturing the outcome feels impossible. It suggests a kind of inevitability.
So if this extreme, hard-to-imagine future driven by AI's logical progression is potentially coming,
Yeah.
what do we do? How should we engage with it? He uses that analogy.
The politics analogy. You may not take interest in politics, but politics will take interest in you.
And he says, apply that to AI many times over. It's going to affect you whether you pay attention or not.
So his advice isn't necessarily to become an AI theorist overnight.
No, it's more practical, initially at least. He suggests gaining intuition by simply using AI and looking at what the best AI of today can do.
Just interact with it, see it for yourself.
Why is using it so important in his view?
Because, he argues, AI is improving so fast, your intuition, built from actually seeing it work, will get stronger as the tech advances.
Ah, okay. Direct experience.
Yeah. He basically says no amount of essays and explanations can compete with what we see with our own senses. Seeing is believing, essentially, or at least understanding the trajectory.
It makes the abstract future feel a bit more concrete.
Right. Now, he does briefly touch on the challenges ahead. He mentions that with really smart AI superintelligence, there will be profound issues.
Issues like making sure they say what they say and not pretend to be something else. The alignment problem, basically.
Exactly. It's a quick nod to those huge safety and control questions. He doesn't dive deep in this particular speech, but it's acknowledged as part of the challenge.
Maybe, because his main point here isn't solving those specific problems, but stressing the need to engage at all. Because this future, however it plays out, is coming.
That seems to be the core message. Don't ignore AI.
Pay attention, watch what's happening, and crucially, generating the energy to solve the problems that will come up. He says that's the main thing.
And he doesn't downplay the scale. He calls it the greatest challenge of humanity ever.
Wow. But he pairs that immediately with the potential upside.
Right.
Overcoming it brings the greatest reward.
So, massive challenge, massive reward.
And he loops back to the beginning, reiterating,
Yeah.
like it or not, your life is going to be affected by AI to a great extent.
It's unavoidable, in
Yeah.
his view.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. The core takeaway here from Sutskever's perspective in this speech is this really bold prediction. AI is on a path to doing basically everything humans can learn.
Driven by a kind of fundamental logic about computation that makes it seem almost inevitable to him.
And this path presents these unprecedented challenges, but also potential rewards. And critically, it's not some sci-fi future. It's going to impact everyone's life significantly.
So the call to action is quite direct. Pay attention. Interact with AI now. Build your intuition through that direct experience. Because this is coming, and it will affect you.
And it brings us right back around to that first piece of advice he gave, doesn't it? Accept reality, focus on the next best step.
Yep.
So, if the reality we need to accept includes this potential future where AI can do essentially all human learnable tasks, and that's going to affect your life profoundly.
And the question becomes,
What is your next best step? How do you start preparing or engaging with that likely future? That's definitely something to think about.